Well, let me give you a full update on the coronavirus. There are now more than 74,000 infections in China and over 2,000 people have died. The biggest concentration of cases outside China is still in Japan and Yokohama, where this ship, the Diamond Princess, has been quarantined for more than 2 weeks. And during that time, more than 600 passengers and crew have tested positive. That's 1 in 6 of those who were on this ship when the saga began. Well, those who've tested negative have now been allowed to leave. Laura Bicker watched it all play out.
One by one, they were put onto buses. Even the buses were separated by what appeared to be kind of plastic sheeting to keep the passengers and the bus drivers separate. But they were taken to central Yokohama, where many, we are told, got onto trains or other buses and used public transport to get home. It is all raising concern that even though these passengers have tested negative for coronavirus, it could spark a further global spread. There have been so many cases where people have been getting this virus, have been shown no symptoms whatsoever, or they've been testing negative for several weeks and then finally testing positive.
Well, the passengers are from more than 50 countries, and as they head home, there are concerns they may create a new wave of global infections. And there are many questions about how Japan has handled this whole affair. Here's one health expert.
Claim is that the coronavirus is a weapon made by China and that the virus leaked out of a laboratory. Now, so is it true? Was the coronavirus made in a laboratory? Did someone release it just to cause harm? Let's begin with the claim and its origins. British newspaper The Daily Mail was among the first to report this story. There is a lab in Wuhan close to the animal market, and the newspaper suggested that the virus could have leaked from there. The same report claims that the SARS virus also leaked from a lab in Beijing. Another report, this one from the Washington Times, takes this theory a step further. It goes on to claim that the coronavirus could have originated in a lab. The story quotes an Israeli biological warfare analyst. More such reports followed, and they only fueled speculation. One such report says that the virus can be traced back to Canada, and that 2 Chinese agents smuggled the coronavirus from Canada to China. At the center of all these claims is the Wuhan National Biosafety Laboratory. It's a level 4 lab. It was built to study diseases like Ebola and SARS. It conducts research on deadly viruses. And it is barely 32 kilometers from the Hunan seafood market, which has been confirmed as the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. All reports suggest that the virus actually leaked from this facility, from this laboratory. Now, at this point, all such reports are in the realm of conjecture. There is no credible evidence to back them, and several experts have dismissed these claims as misinformation and conspiracy theories. Let's take these theories one by one. First, did the virus originate from a laboratory? While there is no scientific evidence to prove this, 2 agencies, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the World Health Organization, are investigating this outbreak. None of them have called the coronavirus a biological attack. They have traced the origins of this virus back to a seafood and animal market in Wuhan, not to a laboratory. Number 2, did the virus originate in Canada, more specifically from Canada's National Microbiology Laboratory, or the NML? Now, reports say that in March of 2019, a mysterious shipment of exceptionally deadly viruses from this Canadian lab ended up in China. Scientists from Canada said the viruses were potential bioweapons. 4 months later, a group of Chinese virologists, later called Chinese agents, were expelled from this lab. Now, did they smuggle the virus? Again, experts have dismissed this claim. The reports name a Chinese woman called Xiangyo Qiu, and she was working in the Canadian lab. The government of Canada has been reported as dismissing the report. Yes, the Chinese researcher was removed from the Canadian lab, but she wasn't charged with anything. And some reports say that there were issues with her paperwork and protocol. So there's nothing concrete yet to link the virus to the lab, but questions hang. And for a change, the questions bothered the Chinese government enough for them to issue a clarification. China, uncharacteristically, has even issued a denial. Now, guess who else jumped in? The Russian media. They have their own theory. They have accused the United States of triggering this outbreak in Wuhan. They too call the coronavirus a biological weapon. only that it was created by America to target China.
This morning reports the director of the hospital at the center of the coronavirus epidemic has died after contracting the disease. The 51-year-old neurosurgeon passing away overnight. The hospital releasing a statement saying in part, without regard to his personal safety, he led the medical staff of the Wuchang Hospital at the front lines of the fight against the epidemic. It comes amid confusion in Cambodia after an American woman aboard this cruise ship, the Westerdam, tested positive for the coronavirus 2 days after she and hundreds of passengers were allowed to disembark and cleared for travel. Some 300 left the country after passing health screenings, scattering across the globe. She was diagnosed after landing in Malaysia. The news triggering immediate concerns about the spread of the virus. Were other passengers, including some 600 Americans, exposed? And are passengers traveling home infecting anyone else? Those still in Cambodia now unable to leave, with 92 Americans still on the ship and under quarantine until Wednesday. Another 260 remain in Cambodian hotels.
You have to self-quarantine.
Frank King, who worked on the ship, making the trip from Cambodia to Seattle overnight, clearing several checkpoints along the way.
It was the most extensive questioning. Have you been to mainland China? Have you been to the Wuchang province?
This comes as 338 Americans who were quarantined on a different ship off the coast of Japan arrived at U.S. military bases Monday morning to begin a 2-week quarantine. 14 of those passengers who tested positive for the virus given a police escort and rushed to medical facilities.
It was a nightmare.
The Moleskis were on the flight home from the Diamond Princess.
There were people that were just in basically a plastic tent that were sitting behind us.
They say they felt vulnerable and exposed on the flight.
We had to walk by them. Even though they were enclosed, there was nothing on top. There was nothing filtering the air.
With the number of cases in China climbing above 70,000 and the death toll approaching 2,000, this morning a deadly virus with a global reach as fear spreads faster than the illness itself.